Hi everyone, long time no see. My last video is quite a few months ago. I think it was my end of February update, if I remember right. I just didn't feel like filming the last few months and a lot was going on, and yeah, I also focused more on knitting than on stitching, so it just didn't feel like it. And yeah, maybe let me introduce myself again, since I'm doing a mid-year WIP parade, because it's been such a long time and I myself can't remember all of my WIPs, so I think it's a good time to look through all of them, maybe plan a bit what I would like to stitch on for the rest of the year and just get a good overview. I'm looking down a lot because I have my notes here so I don't forget anything, so yeah, if you're wondering why I'm doing that. Yeah, so let me introduce myself again. My name is Teresa. I live in Vienna, Austria. I'm 30 years old. My birthday was in March, so last time I was 29, now I'm 30. Everything changed, no? I'm just joking. So I work as a software developer, but most of my hobbies are about fiber arts and all of that. So as you can see, I think in the room back here, I weave, I am spinning, I'm knitting, and all those crazy textile and fiber things. So I'm quite like I say, I'm a fiber arts enjoyer, I would call it. Yeah, so I'm currently expecting my first child, which will be due around December. So I don't know how the next half of the year will work out, but I'm taking it step by step. So yeah, I switch around a lot between my hobbies. So the last few months I did more knitting than stitching and anything else. So this is why I didn't have that much to tell you about my stitching projects, and I just didn't feel like it. Yeah, so of course you're mainly here, I guess, for my stitching and my WIPs. Yeah, I'm stitching since I was a small child. I always did a lot of different fiber arts, but I really got into it like about 5 to 6 years ago. If you remember, there was a pandemic around the time, and I had a lot of time on my hands and just watched a lot of Flosstube and got into stitching a lot. So yeah, that's how all of this started, how I got to be here. I really enjoy watching other Flosstubers. I love seeing their projects, different art styles, different types of stitching. So now that's my introduction out of the way. So get into my mid-year WIP parade. I try to do it chronologically from the start date of the WIP. So like start with the oldest WIP and get into the newer WIPs. Yeah, I'm just showing you one of my newest WIP first because it's a mix of stitching and knitting, and it's really hard to show with my setups otherwise. If you have seen some people on the internet do long dog samplers as blankets, and I started one. It's quite big, it's quite hard to show because it's so wide and my circular needles aren't that big so that I can show it like fully, but maybe some of you already know this pattern. It's the long dog sampler Quintaku, or I think it's also called pointed fifth. It's quite big, it has a ton of arches, like here you see it's a house and like a deer, and here you see a big whale. It's going to turn out quite cute. I plan to make it like a baby blanket. So since I'm expecting, ton of my knitting has been children, baby, newborn knitting. But yeah, I think this blanket, I will have a ton of fun with it for a long time. It's knit, double knit, so the other side is like the negative of it. So like it's the opposite colors. I really enjoy doing it. It's getting quite thick. It's a Aran weight yarn, and I'm knitting it with 5mm needles. I don't know the US size of those needles, but yeah, I think it's a standard size for Aran weight yarn. But yeah, I quite enjoy it. It's about 25 to 28% of the length done, so I don't know if I will make it till December, but I hope I can get it to a good point to the end of the year, with maybe at least like 3/4 done. But currently it's summer, so it's quite hot, and having this much wool on your lap is not that comfortable. But yeah, I can only recommend. It's just very heavy, so it might get a bit strong on your wrists, and maybe if you have trouble with that, maybe make a smaller one or use a lighter weight yarn or something, because yeah, that's the one thing that I struggle with it. But otherwise, I think it turns quite great. I wanted to stitch this pattern, and I already had the flosses and the fabric lying around for like the last 3 years, but as I saw people knitting them, I thought, yeah, this is now the best time, because when should you knit the blanket, especially when you're expecting a child? Yeah, but yeah, or for yourself, why not? You're worth your own double knit blanket, I think. But yeah, so that one I started like 1 to 2 months ago, I think. Yeah, I think it was around June, or yeah, I think it was around June. But yeah, I think it goes quite fast. I try to do about 3 to 6 rows a day, or if I pull it out and knit on it, so it's like 1%, because it's about 350 rows, the whole thing. So 3 rows to 4 rows is like 1%, so I try to do like 1 to 2% per knitting. So in 50 to 100 days I should be able to get it done. Yeah, so that's that. Now let's really get into the stitching. Yeah, first, wait, let me put you back. I want to show you my biggest project and my oldest project. I want to show it to you like in person so you can see the size, but I will show it to you on the table. So I usually show my stitching on the table down here because the lighting is better, especially because I have a window on this side, and most of the time you can't see the stitching. So this is a full coverage cross stitch on 60 count Ada 2/1 full cross. This is artwork by Yukari. It's called Dream, and it was charted by myself, but I asked the artist if it's okay for them or if I can compensate them in any way for using the artwork, and they said it was totally okay. They're fine with it. So just make sure if you use the artwork of someone to just make sure it's okay for them, because they put a lot of work in it, and it's just not right to just take it. Yeah. Especially small independent artists. I don't think anyone minds like a big Disney artwork or something like that, because the artists get paid. But like a small artist who puts a lot of work in it, I think they should totally get paid. So yeah, it's quite big. It's 450,000 stitches. I'm finally over 70%. I'm now around 73%. I plan to do to finish it this year with a bit of leeway. It's just, I thought maybe it would be possible, but since I didn't stitch that much in May, June and all those months till now, I don't think I will get it done, especially with, I don't know how much I can possibly get done. So last time I saw you, I think this row wasn't done. I think it only was started on this part, and now I'm like 4 pages in. So let me show you on the table a bit more what I did. So let me turn you around 1 second. So let me see. Yeah. So now we are at this view. So all of this down here was already done. So I think when you saw it in February, I think like this row of pages was completely done, and I think I was starting this page. So all of those pages are started, so there's no page where I have no stitches left, because I did at one time do color completion, so there are stitches all over the place. So just in the last half year, I did it by page, just so I don't have to move the frame all the time, because I don't have the hoop, because I don't have a frame that wide, and a 1 meter wide frame would just be too much. My newer full coverages, I do 10 stitch, because full cross just takes so much time. And yeah, they turn out giant, as you can see. But yeah, I quite enjoy working on it. I don't know how much I will get done in the next few months, but my plan would be to finish this row and do those 2 pages, just because I think it looks nicer, because I don't like that harsh edge. I always finish the page, but I always carry the threads over, so I don't have any harsh ending lines. I use Markup XP on my iPad to stitch, because it helps me get to keep track of where I have to stitch. But yeah, that's all I still have to get done. But yeah, here I'm already got a lot of stitches in on that fish, so this was quite confetti heavy, so it's very stiff and thick on this part, but otherwise it's working out quite great, because down here I only had lots of background. I think about, let me see, I think about here is the midway of the piece, so like this is the upper half, and I think here is about the half to here and here. But yeah, since I have a ton of stitches done up here, I'm already at over 73%. I hope I can get it at least to maybe 90%. I don't know. I don't want to make big goals, because like I said, I just don't know how much I will get done. And I noticed with the pregnancy that sitting bent forward is just very uncomfortable when you got a big belly, so I don't know how much I will get done. But yeah, I'm trying to work more on it and get it as far as I can, because it's my oldest WIP. I have it like for over 4 years, and it's just time. So my second oldest project has a lot less done, as you can see. I didn't iron it, and I left it in the hoop because I didn't want to move it around. This is an urge hoop. Maybe, as you can see, it's quite small, but it's enough for the small passages. This is a Gecko Rouge kit. It's called Coffee by Eruda Art, I think is the artist called, where they charted it from. But yeah, it's 80 count, 2/1, 10 stitch. Yeah, it has also a ton of background. I don't know why I always choose full coverage pieces with a ton of background, but I think giving a lot of background is often gives the piece a very nice composition, but like stitching wise, it is a lot less fun than if you have a ton of small stuff going around on the piece. But yeah, I quite enjoy it, but I never focused on it because I have the other bigger piece that I just want to get finished. This, I think, I don't know if it's 200,000 stitches or something like that. I did get about 1,000 stitches more done to last time. I think a lot of it was on this page, and then I decided I want to do this page first because it's a lot of background and I get it undone. My plan originally at the beginning of the year was like to get it to 10%. I don't know if that's realistic. It's just, yeah, if I feel like it, but it mostly lies around. I don't stitch that much on it. I did some color completion on it, on those pages, and then I tried some 10x10 block stitching, but then I finished the threads and stopped the parking because I don't enjoy parking that much because you have all those threads hanging around, but when I move the hoop I will park them here so I can continue the thread, because I also don't like cutting off thread in the middle. So yeah, I always try to finish them if possible. Yeah, this is the fabric that came with the kit. It had no guide, so I put it in with some normal ballpoint pen, but it's a washable pen, so it's not a problem. It's water soluble. So yeah, that's that. Don't have to say much about it because I just didn't get to work on it a ton. If you have any questions, just let me know. But so now let me get the rest of my projects. So I hope it's the right side up. Yeah. Here we go. So the first one. This is the New Normal by Long Dog Sampler. This is my second or third oldest WIP. I had this for quite a long time. I started it, had 3 pages done, but just had to change the thread because I used the thread like a banana silk, it's called, but it just didn't look right. It looked very messy. So I started over after I already had 3 pages done. So now I'm at 50% or like 49.9% done. I have this project lying around at my work desk, so when I have home office and have a lot of meetings, that I can maybe stitch on it, because it helps me focus when I have to do something with my hand. So yeah. Yeah, I really would like to get it finished soon. It has about, I think, 37,000 stitches overall. And I think I finished this bubble. I think this bubble is new from when you saw it last time. I don't know exactly when you saw it last time, but mostly this edge has the newer stitches on it. Yeah. I quite like the piece. I like the color choice. It's a 32 count linen it's a kind of navy linen. It's not any special dye. It's just a plain one color linen. I would like to finish it, but it often feels like a chore, which is quite sad. I had a time where I started a lot of Long Dog samplers, and I really like to look at them. They really look awesome, like all those small details, like the small snail or those ants and the small critters. They look so good, and I would love to hang them up. But stitching them, I don't know, it just takes a lot of energy for me. But yeah, I can't wait to get it finished, but I just don't know when the motivation hits to stitch more on it. I think the next one is going to be this bubble, or maybe I will carry the edges around just so I have the corners finished and just have to fill in the bubbles in the middle. But otherwise, a very, very nice piece. I love my color choices. Yeah, that's it. So, since we're now with the Long Dogs, this is another one. Like I said, 2023, I started lots of Long Dogs. Most of them I didn't get very far because I want to finish the New Normal first before I put more time in the others. This is the Castles in the Air. I think this is either 28 count linen or 32 count linen with a red DMC. I think it's DMC 22. But I quite enjoy it. I always think about stitching more on it because I love the fabric choice. It's a very loose linen, but I kind of enjoy it. Something about this combination of thread and fabric just excites me, but I just don't want to focus on it before I didn't finish the New Normal. But I'm always thinking about it, like, I want to stitch on it. I love the colors. So maybe if you've seen there is lots of red samplers. I think many sampler companies and lots of historic samplers have similar color choices, like a raw linen and a red thread. But I can recommend this combination, and yeah, I love the pattern as well with all the backstitching details and everything on it. So yeah, and here comes the next long dog. This one I started in the middle. It's Tap Dancers. Yeah, I think I stitched this maybe, I don't know. I think this is mostly just when I started stitching it and then I left it. Yeah, it's just like the other long dogs. I kitted them, and when I kit something I want to start it immediately and stitch on it, but otherwise I don't spend much time on it because, like I said, I have another long dog that just is currently more in the focus. So before that won't be finished, I won't get to this. This is a Permin 32 count linen and also some DMC floss. I don't know the color on the top of my head, but if you ask me, I can probably tell you. And I think this color is Twilight Blue. I really enjoy this combination of colors. I think it will look awesome, but yeah, it might take some time until I get to it. But yeah. So I think this is the last long dog. Yeah, this is the last long dog. This is before I sleep, with all those wood animals on it. This is a Misosida silk. I think it's Darling Bleu or something like that. One of her blue full skeins. Yeah, I would love to buy another skeins of her, but I don't know what I would stitch with it because, yeah. But I also use the color for other pieces, like from Shaded Stitchery. You will see, I have a project with this thread as well. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's 32 count and I'm doing just one thread over 2 because the silks are a bit more puffy, so one thread is enough to get a good coverage. But yeah, I think from last time you saw it, I think I did in May like 300 additional stitches. I don't know why I pulled it out, but yeah, I think here also those small animals got in here. But yeah, I also love this color combination. I think it fits with the foresty theme that the sampler has. But yeah, also Long Dog Samplers put out a ton of new, very, very beautiful samplers, but yeah, I have enough started of them. I don't know if I will start another one, maybe if I finish one, but not right now. Yeah, so this is my first cross stitch kit I started. This is Fear Governor, Lady and the Unicorn. It doesn't have a ton of stitches done. I think it's like 1% or something like that done. Yeah, I don't know when I pulled it out last. I think it looks quite beautiful. It's stitched 1/2. I think it's a 27 count fabric, but I recommend starting from the middle with her kits because the fabric is quite narrow, so I think this margin is a bit big. So if you look around here, I marked it. My margin on this side will only be like 2 centimeters. So yeah, maybe start in the middle so you get an even border around the sides, but it will be narrow. Either way, it will be narrow. You can maybe exchange it for a different fabric where you can be sure that it fits. But I think on the package it said 27 count, and I calculated and I counted the threads, and I think it's more like a 26 count, so the margins are even narrower than like they estimate, I guess. So maybe, I don't know how this happens, but yeah, just make sure. And it's quite a big piece, so this is folded in half. It's like double the size, but I really love it. But I don't know when I will find more time to stitch on it. Yeah, that's that. So here's another piece that I don't have to tell a lot about. This is Big Red Ship of Life by Ink Circles. I only have a very small start. I think this is about 100 to 150 stitches. This is on a 40 count raw linen. Yeah, I think it's DMC 3777, I think. But yeah, I want to dedicate this to my father, but I just don't have the time, and it's like the long dog samplers, it's a one color sampler, so I have quite enough of those, and I just wanted to start it. I have it all kitted up with all the floss, but when I will get to it, I will get to it. Yeah, so this is the upper left border, but if you know the piece, you know what part this is, but it's less than 1% done, so it will, I think it's like 60,000 stitches, the whole piece, so 150 stitches is not a lot, but I love the piece and I will definitely stitch it. It just might be some years in the future. So this is a more current piece. This is No Time Like the Present by Modern Folk Embroidery. This was the 2024 SAL. I started it at the beginning of last year. And this is on a XQC fabric. She has very awesome fabrics with awesome coloring, and also XQC silks, hand-dyed silks. So you see the modeling is because of the modeling of the thread. In the orange thread you don't see that modeling. It's very light, and yeah, but in the blue, especially in this sky piece, it turns out quite nice. So I tried to make the variegation more in like clumps and not in lines. I think it depends on what you like more, but you can stitch in a way that the variegation is a bit different. So yeah, some people just stitch variegation in lines and it looks also quite nice, but yeah, in this I tried to make it more like this. I'm about 53% done. I think since February I added like 1000 stitches, I think mostly around here. I don't know if I will get it done this year. Last year I thought that maybe, but I just didn't focus on it enough, and especially with all those other projects I have, it's just not in no, at the top of my mind. But I quite love it. It's a 20 count Ada, so it has very dainty small stitches, but it's still Ada stitching, so I sometimes always stitched it in hand, but mostly I use a small hoop for it. Yeah, quite enjoy it, and especially the color choices are very bold, so most of my color choices aren't intense like that, but yeah, I think I had a lot of luck. So yeah, next piece is Sherazade Stream by Twin Peak Primitives. It's a quite big sampler. Yeah, I started in the middle. I didn't get a lot of stitches done. This is a 40 count linen from Zweigart, I think. It's the vintage country mocha that a lot of people use for a sampler, or especially like samplers that have those timey old vintage feelings. It's quite a nice fabric, so I can recommend it. It's not hand dyed, but yeah, it's not a focus piece, but I quite enjoy it. I enjoy the colorways. It's very pastel-y, bluish, pinkish. So yeah, if you like that, maybe look it up. I think it's a very, very nice piece. But yeah, I don't know when I will focus on it. It's like 1 to 2% done, so still a lot to go, but yeah. So next one is Cats Do What They Want. It's a Mereshka kit. This is a 60 count Ada. Yeah, this is also one of those kit pieces. I have a ton of Mereshka kits in stash that I didn't start yet. But yeah, it's like 30,000 stitches, so it's quite manageable. I started it I think 1 year ago, or somewhere around that time. I think I have 30% done approximately. With Mereshka, by the way, I think there's the FantaStitch app that you can install on iPads and iPhones. I don't know if there is an Android equivalent. I have to look into that. But where you can send them a picture of your kit, so you can they can verify that you bought the kit with the fabric, with the flosses and all of that, and then you can use the digital pattern in the FantaStitch app, so like Markup XP or a Pattern Keeper, because I don't really enjoy stitching from paper patterns. My other paper patterns I scan and try to put into Markup XP because I just don't like to work from paper patterns because I'm more likely to make mistakes, and it just helps a lot with keeping up with your work, and also helps me see which project I have going, because some are paper and some I have online on my iPad. It's just all over the place. But yeah, I quite enjoy it. I like that they mix full cross and half cross stitches, and like half cross with 3 strands, half cross with 2 strands. They also use blends, like 2 threads of different colors mixed to make make it more seamless and get a lot of detail in a quite small piece, and also with the back stitching and all of that. So I quite enjoy it. I think I want to pull it out more, but I have a lot of pieces, so I don't know when I will get to it, but now looking at it, I really quite enjoyed it. The next piece to keep up with the chronological stitching is a full coverage stitch. This is Grandmaster Duck, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. It's about 6.5% done. It's a full coverage stitch but without background. And this is my only Heaven and Earth full coverage piece. And just be mindful, I think it was a bit of an older chart because there were some old discontinued DMC colors in it, and I had to Google what are the current alternatives for those colors. So just keep in mind that they don't update the patterns regularly, so just so you know. This is a 26 count even weave that I got second hand, so I don't know that much about the fabric, but it's like a lavenderish color. I don't know if you can tell the color that well on camera, but yeah. And I also marked a bit because otherwise I wouldn't find my way on full coverage. It's 2/1 10 stitch. So yeah, if you look closer you can see that it's 10 stitch. But I love the detail, I love the image. I also generally from Gordon Fitchett, I love all those fancy ducks that he did. It's quite awesome artwork. But yeah, make sure to read into Heaven and Earth Design, and if you want them, support them. Yeah, I think everyone should make their own decision, but make sure where you consume and stuff. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, this is the top 2 pages done, and I think I had 300 stitches more done than last time. I don't know exactly where I put them, but maybe in the white of the face or in the beak. I don't remember. It's a long time since I pulled it out. But yeah. So the next one is my Mirabilia. I didn't get anything done since last time. It's Mirabilia Muse. It's my first and only Mirabilia, so I just have this little piece done. Yeah, I am very excited to get more done on it, but it's not super focus piece. I have the full, this is all called for. This is the called for, I think, white chocolate from Permin linen. I also bought all the call for fabrics, beads and everything because I just really enjoyed the color choices. But yeah, I didn't get much done, so I don't have a lot to tell you about it. Yeah. Anyway, this is another Thea Governor kit. I think it's Still Life with Flowers. To call it a start is maybe a bit, I don't know, maybe not the right thing. I did get 10 to 15, maybe 15 stitches done. Yeah, this is the middle of the piece that I marked with some thread, but I just got the kit and immediately wanted to start it and then put it away. I think it's a 18 count Aida, black Aida, and it's 1/1 full cross. Yeah, but I don't know when I will pull it out next, or if I will show it in the next WIP period, just because it's so little stitching done. And yeah, But I love the piece, and someday I will stitch on it. So yeah. Next one is Stitch for Pride 2024. From D20, they do a Stitch for Pride, I think, every year, or I think the last 3 years they did it. I think this year they also do one. Yeah, so I didn't stitch it in 2024. I started stitching on it in December 2024, and because I had such a hard time deciding on the floss. But this is an XQC variegated, I think some peachy rosy color. I don't remember the name of it right now, but if you want to know, just write me and I can tell you. This is about 23% done. So like per each month, each month, one image was released, and with some parts to read about the artists. Those are all queer artists, like I don't remember. It's just after talking for such a long time, it's hard for me to remember everything, but I can really recommend it because you learn a lot about queer artists, and I think it's just great to be able to support them, and also have a very, very beautiful piece which includes all of them. And yeah, quite enjoyed it. It's 1/2, and I think this is a 32 count linen. I think it's called Blue Spruce, maybe from Zweigart, or like another standard stitching fabric blend company, I think. Stitching fabric company. But yeah, and I really enjoyed the variegation, and this is the first time I tried stitching 1/2 on 32 count, and I think it makes it look quite dainty, even though you see the fabric through. But I think with sampler patterns it doesn't matter because it gives a very beautiful look. Yeah, that's it. This is something I mostly stitch in hand, and I have it lying around, and whenever I feel like putting a thread in it, I just do it. Yeah, so this is Festive Forest by the Blue Flower. This was from last year's Jingle Ball, which I took part in, and yeah, this was the design from the Blue Flower. It's going to be I don't know especially if it's a needlepoint kit, but it's like a dome shape, so you're going to stitch it together. This is the upper middle, but it has like over 10,000, I think 30,000 stitches overall, and so it's a ton of stitching, and I just didn't get to it that much. It's not a focus piece. Yeah, it's about 23% done. Like there's going to be a big deer or something. I don't know exactly which animal, and a ton of birds in the treetops and stuff. So there's still a ton of stitching to go, and yeah, I think I did about 170 stitches more. I think it's in those parts. I didn't have those done the last time, but yeah, whenever I get to it, I don't focus too much on it, but yeah, it's get to it when I feel like it. And it's on a 40 count, and most of my 40 counts I do stitch in hand because yeah, the stitches always lay nicely even though you stitch by hand if you don't carry them too much. Yeah, that's it. And this, yeah, it looks exactly the same as you saw maybe last time. This is Merry Morgan by Fox and Rabbit. I only had the border done. I started it, I think, around the same time as Sherasade's Dream, which I started in the middle. This one I started the border. Sorry, just something fell over on the side. Yeah, I think it's 1% done. I don't know what part I will do next. Maybe add the flowers to the border, but yeah, I will see. You have to be careful when you do the border because I think yeah, there are always 10 stitches long, and then at one part there are only 9 stitches long, and around here there are also only 9 stitches long. So it's like you have to be very careful when you stitch the border first because it's uneven, or you fudge it and say, okay, fuck it, I have 1 stitch more. yeah, that's it. I think when the person who originally stitched this maybe added the border after adding all the imagery in the middle, so maybe they wanted to have the border the same distance from each side, so this might make sense, but yeah, whatever. The next one is Cozy Nest, which I started at the beginning of the year. It's from Nafnolo. I'm stitching this on a hardanger. This is a 22 count, normally used for hardanger embroidery and stitching, but yeah, I wanted to try it out. I tea-dyed this fabric myself. I think some coffee I also added into it, but yeah, so it gives it that vintage look. I'm mostly to color completion on it. I think there are only 3 colors missing, and I also have some fake DMC that I got second hand somewhere, so maybe the colors turn out a bit different, and I also think I mixed up this brighter orangey color, and I had to change around a bit because I didn't want to rip it out again, but yeah, just so you know, it might look a bit different, but it mostly gives the same feel. I'm still, I think 4 colors are missing that I have to put in. Maybe I will be able to finish it this year because it only has about 2,000 stitches left. I think it overall has only about 5,000 to 6,000 stitches, so it's very manageable. It's quite cute. Nafnolo also released, I think, a pattern with an owl maybe that also knits, or I think also some animals that sit in the cozy place and stitch and stuff. So if you're into that, maybe look at their Etsy shop. They're quite cute. Can only recommend. So the next one is Closely Kept 4 by Shaded Stitchery. I'm doing all the Closely Kept. I think they didn't release, but they showed on their Instagram page. They already finished the design for Closely Kept 5, which I surely will start too. This is the one where I'm using the Misoseda silk, like in the long dog sampler, as you saw before. This is stitched 1/1 full cross on 26 count, so it's the same fabric that I use for the Grandmaster duck and I think some other pieces, but yeah, I quite enjoy stitching them this small. They look very beautiful, and also the light variegation of the Misoseda silk I think looks quite nice with it. They have quite a great history, those designs. I can only recommend to look into it. It's a lot of Black history of Black people in America. Yeah, just check out Shaded Stitchery's work. They are always quite nicely. I can't wait always for the next one, and I dream about hanging them up next to each other, all the Closely Kept pieces, and mixing them in with some pictures and stuff. Yeah, I quite enjoy it. I think it's about, let me look into it, it's over 50% done. I only have like 600 stitches to go, I think, around here. Only some missing. They're quite manageable and small pieces, and they look very, very nicely. But yeah, maybe it's I have them as a commute stitch or like travel stitch, so I don't know when I will get to it, but yeah, it will be worked on. So then let me show you one of my coverage I started at the beginning of this year. This is Contessa with Squid. I don't remember. Omar Rayan, I think, is the artist. And it's charted by Unconventional Crossstitch. This is a 25 count Gobelin. I think it's usually used for petite stitch. I think Luca S. petite stitch kits also are stitched on this fabric, and I enjoy using it for full coverage cross stitches because the fabric is a bit stiffer and the holes are a bit bigger. So if you do like 2/1 10 stitch, yeah, it gives a very good coverage and it's very easy to pass the needle through, especially maybe if you have a ton of ninja stitches and like different colors. And yeah, I think the last time you saw it, I only had black stitches done. For the black, I'm not using the DMC 310, so I'm using the equivalent anchor thread. I don't know the number exactly, but yeah. I wanted to put some of the orange stitches in because I just wanted to see how the tentacles will look. But yeah, I didn't finish the threads, even so I said I don't enjoy parking, but I kinda did do some parking. But yeah, I just wanted to see how it will look and how the details are going to turn out. Because this piece for a long time was charted by Heaven and Earth Design, but the artist discontinued, I think, the licensing, whatever, I don't know how you call it, contract. And now they are charted by Unconventional Cross. But yeah, I can't wait to get more done. Yeah, it's quite enjoyable. I think this is at about 2.5%. So kind of a lot, kind of nothing. I mean, 2% isn't a lot, but yeah, it's a ton of black background. So I think the background will get done much faster than the imagery. So it will be around this size. But yeah, I don't know when I will get to it again, but I quite enjoyed it. So up to the next one. I think, yeah, this is another full coverage. This is Deep Breath. I don't remember the artist. This is charted by Two Legs Make One Cross. It's like an underwater scene with a person in it. I will show you the picture somewhere in here. I think it didn't change since February. It's about, I think, 1% done, 2%, more like 1%, I guess. But yeah, it has a lot of orangey colors, so I can't wait to get there. But yeah, I started in the upper left corner. It's the same fabric as with Contessa with Squid. I think that's all I can tell you about it. But let me know if you have any more questions about my full coverage pieces. So yeah, and this is also a new start that you haven't seen before. This is a very small start. This is from Chatelaine Designs. So over half a year ago, I ordered the kit from European Crossstitch company because they take quite a long time to get the kit together and to send them. So I did a center start. This is the Hydrangea Autumn Fog Garden. I just wanted, like, especially like with the Mirabilia, I just wanted to stitch some of them. I love the artwork, or I love to look at the stitching of other people of the Chatelaine design, because it's not just cross stitch. When you look at it, there are, I think those are called Algerian eyelets, and there are a lot of different stitches. So if you want to try some different kinds of stitching, different yeah, like beading and very different flosses, like they have all kinds of flosses. So like let me see if I can find it. So yeah, like this is the kit I got. Like they don't send the DMC. The DMCs I kitted up myself, but like they have different kinds of beads. They have a ton of different silks and variegated silks and treasure braids. So I'm very excited to try out those different threads and see if I like them. Yeah, I don't know if I would hang it up. It's just, I think it's not especially my style, but maybe if I work on it for a long time, I feel like doing that. But I just am very excited about the handiwork of it, because it's just, yeah, exciting. It's I think it's like the opposite of full coverage stitches, which is like from the stitching perspective, not very, I don't know. I think it's exciting, but it's just 10 stitches all the time, full coverage, and this is more like, hey, let's put some Algerian eyelets here and look like the variegation looks like that and all those stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited about it, but it's currently not a big focus for me. So this is a design by me. this is my second finish this year. My first finish I showed you, I think in January or February, was a stocking from Shepherd's Bush. But yeah, this is Poppy Garden. It's a design by me. I'm going to release the pattern, I think, in the next few days. But yeah, I wanted to try designing something with some backstitching and see how it looks. Maybe if I would do it again, I would do the backstitch with just one thread instead of two, but otherwise I quite enjoyed it. I wanted to do some mandala kind of things, some repeating stuff. I do a lot of biscornos, like here, which are all symmetrical and yeah, different lines. But yeah, I just wanted to try some backstitch designing. So I quite liked doing the flowers and the stuff. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it Poppy Garden just because the flowers remind me of poppies. But there's no bigger thinking going on there about the naming. But yeah, that's that. So the next one is also a new start. This is again the 26 count even weave that I use for almost everything because I had such a big piece that I got secondhand. So I can recommend getting fabrics, especially if you don't need a like hand dyed or any special fabric. Secondhand if you have the opportunity, because it's just you save a lot of money. And this is Your Catchesty by Aliana Westensiak or something. I bought the pattern on mybobbin.com. They have lots of digital patterns which are not the classic samplers or full coverage. So they have full coverage with backstitch and all those kinds of things. So are more similar to like what you see in a Mereshka kit or stuff. And I enjoy looking through the patterns every few months. Yeah, this is originally, I think, charted for like 60 count fabric because I think it has some blends in it where like two colors are mixed, but like with 2/1 half stitch you can do blends with two colors. They also have some half stitch with only one thread. I don't know how I will do them. Maybe I will just use one thread, but yeah, it will not get the same dimension. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's going to be quite a small piece, but I just love the image of the cat laying on the big sofa. But yeah, it will take quite some time because it's not a focus piece, and whenever I get to it, I will get to it. But yeah, I think it will turn out awesome. So this is one of my newest starts. This is from a stitch along with Leah Revenga and I think Just a Face on Instagram. They found this pattern also on my bobbin, and it's also full coverage. I think it's also originally charted to be stitched on like 60 count fabric, 2/1 full cross, and I'm doing it on, I think there's also 26 count second hand. It's the same person that I got the lavender one from, and I always had this size piece lying around and this fits perfectly on it. It doesn't use too many colors, I think like 60 different colors, and it's like 30,200 stitches overall. It has some backstitching in it, and it has backstitching with 2 threads and 1 thread, and I probably will do all the backstitching just with 1 thread because yeah, doing backstitching with 2 threads on these tiny stitches just will look off, or maybe I will use some sewing thread. I don't know which color the backstitching has. Maybe it depends if I have a matching sewing thread, because sewing thread would be a bit finer, so it would give more of the dimension of using 2 different thickness of backstitching. But yeah, I started it just 1 week ago and I already have like 7,200 stitches done, so I'm at about 24% done. It goes quite fast if I focus on it, and it has a lot of the sky was block stitching. Then I did some color completion with the black, and I also wanted to get the edges done. I just love to have all the outer stitches done. It's kind of something I do on a lot of my full coverage stitches. I don't know why, it's just how I work on it. And yeah, I stitched some of it in hand, I stitched some of it in a hoop. It works out both greatly, and I really enjoy doing a full coverage this size. It's like, look, my hand for for size comparison. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Can only recommend, and maybe check out Lea Revenga's Blue Sky YouTube or Instagram. She also sells hand-dyed fabrics and stuff, and like embellishment kits for like 3D stitch stuff. So yeah, check her out. She also has a ton of very cool coverage cross stitches, and like she tries out a ton of different count fabrics and different DMC, fake DMC brands and stuff, so you can get a very good feel of how different fabric counts with different flosses will look like. But yeah, I don't know how much I will get done, but I think it's currently very big in my rotation because I enjoy it so much, and you see progress so fast, because like I was able to get 25%, almost 25% done in 1 week, which is crazy. Yeah. I'm just not used to it because I always choose like giant pieces, but yeah, can only recommend trying this out. Or like changing full coverage stitches for like 60 count fabric to smaller. It also has some blends in it. It has like blends with 2 colors. I don't know if you can tell, like some in the sky, but with 2/1 you can use 2 threads with 2 different colors. So yeah, that works out fine. So maybe make sure if you do those that the blends don't consist of 3, or you don't have any partial stitches like quarter stitches and stuff like that. Would be really hard on 1/1 fabric of any kind. Yeah. So the last one is Dark Mermaid by Two Legs Make One Cross. It's the same artist like with Deep Breath. So yeah, I don't remember the same as before who the artist is. I only did like 100 stitches, about. I think it might be about 100 stitches. Didn't get a big start. I just had it kitted up. I kitted it up at the same time as my other 2 full coverage cross stitch, like Contessa with Squid and Deep Breath with the same fabric. So I kitted them all 3 up at the same time, so I can have all my full coverage flosses together, so I don't need that big of a floss collection that I can't use because they are used in those projects and lying on the side. Yeah, I am using a Millward frame, and maybe you see that it's not that, doesn't have the best tension, because I wanted to try a clip-on frame. I didn't do enough research, because the clips for these frames are only like this size. So in the middle you have a part where you don't have a clip-on frame, so where the fabric will have less tension because the roll is thinner where you don't have clips. If I could have moved the clips more inside, but then the edges wouldn't have any tension, which also isn't that great. So yeah, I can't recommend those. I would probably in the future only use the sew-on frames. So like this one, because the tension is just a lot better, because sewing it on straight is easier than getting those clips to not make any gaps or have any gaps in it, because it's just better. Well, maybe that's just like my opinion, but if you want to know my opinion is yeah, don't use clip-on frames. Yeah, I don't know, or if you only use this width of 1 clip, but yeah, I was really bothered by it. I probably should have sent it back, but since it's from a company that's not in the EU, yeah, it would have cost me more to send it back than to just deal with it. But yeah, maybe I can put some, I think there are kits where you can put the fabric to sew on the piece on those frames, but we will see. Anyway, I think that's all of my pieces done. I think it's about 27 WIPs if I didn't miscount. I hope I don't miscount. But let me flip you around to end the video. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my WIPs. It's really great to see all of the projects that I have, and yeah, I started a lot of projects this year. I hope I can finish 1 or 2 of them. I think I surely can finish Closely Kept 4, but I will immediately start Closely Kept 5 afterwards, so I don't know if it helps bring my WIP count down. But Cozy Nest, which is the crow with the knitting, which is knitting the sock, I will probably finish this year, just because of the size, and if I leave it out on my desk, I probably will stitch on it from time to time, so it will probably be able to get done by the end of the year. I will still focus on my big full coverage with the fishes and the cat on it, but yeah, I probably will not finish it this year. But yeah, otherwise, currently I'm very obsessed with this piece, so I will get a ton more stitched on it, but yeah, otherwise I don't know. I think I have a ton of other full coverages. I would get some done, but yeah, you will see next time what I will get done. I don't make any promises because it's very like what my feelings are on the day, but currently my goal is not to start any bigger new pieces, maybe start smaller ones if I do start some, but yeah, I think I have enough big full coverage stitches. But yeah, that is everything. I hope I can get this up and edited by today, maybe. But yeah, I hope to see you in the future. Like I said, I don't know when I will be able to make the next video. Maybe I will try to do it monthly again, but with my situation and life, I don't know if it will be possible, and I don't know. I will just take it step by step, and yeah, I'm sure I will come back to you sometime, that's definite, but I don't know when. I hope it's not like in a half year again, but sooner. Yeah, that is it. Let me know if you stayed until now. If you did, maybe put the bird emoji down there. I don't know, is this something that people do? But yeah, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. See you in the next video. Bye.